I'm sure everyone listening right now knows how the World Series went down, or at least knows who won the World Series. If you were one of the 5 Astros fans or less that listened to our podcast and put up with us constantly talking shit about the Astros, congratulations, I guess.
Congratulations.
But
Uh,
Valdez totally fucking cheated. Uh, you saw that, right? He was rubbing his hands like all the time,
he
wiping it
was
off
rubbing
his
his
pants when
hands.
he was doing a substance check.
Yeah,
Totally sus. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm just distracting the batter."
I'm
Like that's
distracting the
like the
batter. I'm
like that's
surprised.
like the
I'm surprised Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, didn't like have them check him in the middle of an inning.
yeah. I'm surprised too. Like like that sounds like the baseball equivalent of like when you say something really horrible at a dinner party and you gotta be like, oh, it was just a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah, like no, well, yeah, like that's like the same kind of excuse that my racist uncle gives at Thanksgiving. Uh, Disclaimer: I probably have a racist uncle, but I don't go to Thanksgiving with any racist uncles. Uh, in fact, I don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, not this month.
oh, yeah. Isn't your Thanksgiving like in October or something?
Yep, I think it's like the 10th of October or something, but we don't really observe it in my house. Partially because it's a whole lot of work to be eating turkey for an entire week.
Yeah,
Like, turkey is really good, but everybody hates turkey because, one, I think a lot of people just don't know how to season it properly. Two, after you make a turkey, you have to live with the fact that you are eating that turkey for the rest of the month.
pretty much is how that is.
Yeah, like, you need a pretty big family for a turkey to actually be feasible. I'm surprised that smaller families don't just get like a rotisserie chicken on Thanksgiving. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, I'd probably do that too. It
You
it
can get
it
that shit
probably
from the grocery store.
it's probably like this whole like tradition thing
Oh, yeah,
that
definitely.
people have the mindset of
Gotta be turkey.
it has to be turkey.
But we're gonna give it a twist. We're gonna deep fry it, burning our entire house down.
We're gonna smoke it.
So yeah, the 2022 World Series, the Phillies won 2 games, and it was pretty impressive when they did.
Yeah,
But whenever the Astros won, I can pretty effectively sum it up most of the time. They got like a small point lead, and the Phillies just couldn't catch up,
yeah. By
and that ended up winning them the World Series. They're the
yeah,
champions.
yeah. It was like by the time the series went back to Houston, it felt like the Phillies were just out of gas.
Yeah, and it was honestly it came to me as a shock because they did like really caught the Astros off guard
Yeah,
on when they were in Philly. I mean, they caught them off guard once in Houston.
yeah,
Uh, so it seemed like there was no counting the Phillies out, but then yeah, they just ran out of gas. They stopped performing,
yeah,
and well, yeah, that was a big shock for me. Seeing the Phillies just go through a whole bunch of underdog matchups, crush them all, and
yeah.
then go to the American League's juggernauts and get flattened.
Yeah. I think that pretty much tells you how bad those other NL teams were. Nothing against the Cardinals, nothing against the Padres, everything against the Braves.
The Braves played that game like clowns. Like I'm sure everyone remembers. We talked about it a few episodes ago how the Real Muto literally ran circles around the Braves.
Yeah. He was
Like
like,
we saw him go from like we saw him go from the plate all the way around.
yeah. And that was because Ronald Acuna, for some reason, just did not go over to help Michael Harris. He
Michael
just,
Harris was fumbling. It was a tragedy. Speaking of people on the field, I think a big contribution to the Astros doing as well as they did is the fact that they had some godly people out on field.
mm-hmm, yeah,
I know I know in one of those games, McCormick caught a ball that totally would have been a home run if he didn't leap higher than a human being possibly could.
I don't think it would have been a home run. I think it would have at most been a triple. Actually, no, it might have been another in the park home run because Real Muto is fast.
I mean, I thought it was going to go into the seats,
Yeah,
uh, but McCormick got a pretty damn good jump, and he landed flat on his back. I'm surprised he wasn't injured.
yeah. I'm surprised he kept hold of the ball too.
Yeah, that dude's got like a grip of iron. That or there's glue on his glove. You can't really you can't count out any bizarre theory with the Astros.
it could
Uh,
it could be real. It could be real. But no,
it could it could be real.
until
We've talked about it.
yeah, but until these theories they have that we have uh unless they actually come into fruition and end up being real, this was a genuine championship for the Astros, and I want to congratulate three main guys here. I want to congratulate Dusty Baker for finally getting a World Series as a manager. Only took him 25 years or more.
Ask you who that was.
Uh,
I almost didn't know who that was for a second.
yeah. Uh, I want to congratulate Yordan Alvarez for being an absolute stud hitter.
I don't. I think calling him a stud is a bit homoerotic,
Well, he's very, very good.
but it's true. He is photogenic and very good at the game, and it's he definitely contributed at least. Well, he definitely directly caused two of the Astros wins in the World Series.
Yeah,
He won the Astros the ALDS as well,
yeah. He won them two of those games,
the
as well as
ALCS rather.
and that leads us to my third person I'd like to congratulate, which is Jeremy Pena. Holy fucking shit, this guy is a goat already. This is
World
his
Series
first.
MVP, didn't he?
He won World Series MVP and Conference Series MVP.
Yeah, Jeremy Pena, like this is a great year to be him.
Yeah,
As far as I know, he's pretty new.
yeah. This is his first season as an Astro, and like people were a little concerned for the Astros at the shortstop position because they used to have Carlos Correa, but then he went off to Minnesota to sign a 3-year deal that didn't end up working out in his favor.
I don't know how anyone thought that would work out in his favor.
I the
But the
if
free
for
agents work in mysterious ways.
free agency works in mysterious ways, but we'll talk more about Carlos Correa a little later. But right now, but yeah, there were a lot of concerns for the Astros who would play shortstop for them. I think it's pretty safe to say now who that is.
Yeah, like Pena has I think Pena has pretty much solidified himself
Yeah.
as a fan favorite Astro, and if he hasn't, then how?
How? Literally how? He won you guys a championship pretty much. You guys should be loving him.
Absolutely.
Unless he's like a total like douchebag or something.
Yeah.
Like he hates women or something.
No way of knowing that.
Yeah.
Not
Not
unless like a big controversy comes out, but that's not something I'm going to pray for.
nah 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 nah.
Uh,
We hate it when really good athletes turn out to be really shitty people.
yeah. In the meantime,
Who's Sean Watson? Oh, sorry, I just had a really bad cough there.
yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, what was I saying? Oh, no, yeah, but yeah, like great year for Pena, and I bet next year is going to be great for him as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think next year might even be even better for him. Also, apologies for my Xbox. I should have turned that off. It just went, but it's telling me that it's gonna turn off in about 5 minutes.
well, why turn it off then? It's taking care of itself for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like as far as I know, most of the Astros that are in the roster right now are staying, except one.
Who we will talk about later.
Actually, is there much more to cover with the World Series? I mean,
Uh
the Astros are winning. Well, I mean, the Astros won.
the Astros stay winning and the Phillies stay losing.
Yes.
Uh,
I do hope that the Phillies are proud of how far they came, though,
yeah,
because
they
that is not a team that makes the playoffs.
yeah they were a 6 seed. Everybody counted them out before the playoffs even started. Hell, we even did.
Yeah, and every time that we bet against them, which was every time,
Pretty much,
we
yeah.
paid for it.
Well, I didn't bet against them for the NLCS. At that point, I learned.
But I did. But that's because I really wanted the Padres to win. Unfortunately, though, the Phillies did not go down to gold and brown. I hope the guys who did that, the very,
The very cringe rap got hung by their underwear at the flagpoles at Petco Park.
yeah, that was not a good look. And it may have cursed the Padres,
I honestly think that it did.
just like how that goose cursed the Dodgers.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Do you think the Padres could have done more than the Phillies did against the Astros?
That honestly is a great question. Because the Phillies did win two games, and the games that they won were incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, I honestly, I don't think the Padres would have performed as well.
Hmm.
Uh, just for a minute there was still something pushing the Phillies to play well beyond what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Schwarber, what was it?
Harper.
No, I was saying Schwarber
Oh.
got three opening home runs.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, which is a record that he now shares with Derek Jeter.
Congratulations, Schwarber. You're tied with the devil.
Speaking of the devil, actually, this isn't related at all. You should totally check out the moon tonight if you're watching this
Yeah,
on the day it was uploaded, at
yeah.
least.
Look at the moon.
Otherwise, you're probably going to be wasting your time.
Yeah, there's nothing going on tonight other than the moon. Look at it.
Yeah, the moon. It's going to be very interesting.
Look at it. Look at it! I
For
want
one
all
day
of
in the
you to
year,
look at it!
for one day in the year, Derek Jeter will reveal his true form in his red-skinned, horned glory, and all of us will have to bear witness and pay tribute.
Do you think Derek Jeter's gonna be down at Florida tonight?
What happens at Florida tonight?
Oh, wait, I meant Georgia.
Oh, what happens in Georgia?
Uh, well, if he's showing his true form, we might see a fiddle battle happen in Georgia.
Oh, you're right. Oh, but who in Georgia would beat Jeter in a fiddle battle? Especially not, definitely not any of the Braves.
No, definitely not. It'd have to be someone, uh, someone who plays their fiddle with true heart and commitment and uh plays it so soulfully that you know Derek Jeter will just have to bow his head and give up. They'd also
I think Judge could do it.
I think Judge could do it.
Speaking of Judge, there's not much to cover
Left of the
about.
World Series.
Yeah.
So what we're
So
so the off season has officially begun as of literally after the World Series happened.
yeah, we're effectively already in it.
Yeah,
From now on, we're going to be uploading every other week
yeah,
until the next season.
yeah,
Just so that we do not run out of things to talk about like immediately.
yeah.
Uh,
That'll be terrible. That'll be awful.
s- so with the championship squared away, next thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be taking a look into the future, specifically with free agents, because that's the first kind of glimpse that we get
Mm-hmm.
is the contracts that have ended and where those are going. So speaking of free, the reason I said speaking of Judge is because he actually is one of them.
Yes.
He is not staying with the Mets.
On the
Well,
Yankees.
Yankees rather. Sorry,
You're fine.
wishful
Uh,
thinking.
wishful
Lord
thinking.
no, Lord knows. Lord knows. I wish he was in the Mets. Maybe they would win more games that way.
But yeah,
Uh,
we're looking at Bleacher Report's top 15 free agents of the 2022 slash 2023 free agent class,
yeah,
and
and
we're
I just spoiled number one for you, but everyone knew it was going to be Judge.
everyone knew it was gonna be Judge. Man, there's
We
no
knew it was so obvious that we spent like half of an episode talking about him.
yeah.
And I think like I think it's safe to say that just about every other podcast is doing that. Like
Everybody is gonna be talking about Judge. But is anybody going to be talking about the other 14 players we're going to be talking about? Well, maybe,
who
but
knows? Probably. I mean, so I mean, starting out number 15, one of the free agents, the one of the top 15 free agents is Clayton Kershaw of the LA Dodgers.
Do you want to start this or should I?
You go ahead.
All right. So Clayton Kershaw, he's 35 years old, but he had a great season so far. I don't really know if he has denied his if he hasn't accepted any like qualifying offers or not. But I'm thinking, so how we're going to be doing this is we're going to be choosing three things that could happen to a player. And the three things I think could happen to Clayton Kershaw. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he still has a little bit of juice in him. He's only 35. I say only 35 as if, that's a pretty impressive age to be at, but he's only 35.
It's impressive for baseball.
Definitely one of the younger pitchers on here, I think. Uh he had a 2.28 ERA, 137 strikeouts, so again, he is still kind of good. He's still got some left in the tank, so I
Number
think
three is a great sign, especially for a pitcher in his 30s.
yeah. So I think Kershaw is either going to be going back to the Dodgers. He's going to be going to uh he's going to be going to the uh what team needs a pitcher right now?
The Mets need a pitcher.
Yeah, but I have another guy for the Mets.
Makes sense.
Uh he'll either go back to the Dodgers. I don't think he's going to retire. He'll either go to Cleveland. I think Cleveland could use another pitcher. I feel like they've got
Yeah.
two really good ones, but after that, it's kind of meh. And then, well, Philly just got rid of a couple of their pitchers, but I don't know if they'd be able to afford Kershaw. Well, how much could Kershaw go for? What does Bleacher Report say? 20 million? Yeah, I don't know if Philly will be able to afford that. Uh,
Yeah, no. I don't think so either. But I think there's a fair amount of teams that'll want him, especially because there's a lot of pitchers becoming free agents.
uh, I think the third team he could go to would be the White Sox. Why not? I
The
think
White Sox.
the
Oh,
White.
you can go between leagues.
Yeah, you can.
Actually, didn't
You
know
can.
that.
Yeah, you can go between leagues.
Honestly, I think one team that he might be a fit for is the Astros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can explain why, but we'll get to that.
All right.
Speaking of White Sox, the 14th free agent on the list is Jose Abreu of the Chicago White Sox. I regret to say I don't know a goddamn thing about him.
Well, he's gonna be 36 next year. Uh,
He's worth 34 million.
yeah, for 2 years. Uh, he had 15 home runs, a 304 average. So not a bad season, not a great season, but it was all right. Um, okay. I'm thinking Jose Abreu is either gonna go back to the White Sox. He's either gonna or he's gonna jump ship to either uh, he's either gonna jump ship to Tampa Bay. I think they might be in need of a first baseman right now, or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I could see both of those. He's definitely, well, he is worth more than Kershaw. It seems that Abreu is not without his problems. he did not perform as well this season as he did the last one.
Hmm.
Uh, but he's still good enough to be on the list.
Yeah.
I think don't the Pirates have a very low budget?
They have a very low budget. They have a $47 million payroll.
I definitely think between the two teams you named, the Rays are the most likely to get him
Yeah.
if he does move teams. Speaking and not speaking of, the Rays aren't related at all to what I'm about to say. Uh, next we have number 13, which is Chris Bassett of the New York Mets.
Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett. He's 34. So I lied about Kershaw being one of the younger pitchers. I think. Well, he is, but Bassett's younger. So get wrecked, Kershaw. Uh, but Bassett, he's definitely not as good as some of the other pitchers that the Mets had last year, but he was their third best pitcher in their rotation, so I think it would be wise for the Mets to keep him around. But if
Definitely. But his contract is a bit pricey. His contract is three times Kershaw's
yeah.
at 60 million
Yeah.
for 3 years.
But compared to some of the other guys we're going to get to that's basically nothing, I think if Bassett doesn't go to doesn't go back to New York for the Mets, he might either go to he might either uh go a couple blocks away to the Yankees, and I hate to say that, but I just think it might happen, or he could go to he can go back over to the Bay Area but play for San Francisco instead of Oakland.
Yeah, I could see it. I uh, I don't have a lot of input. I think he would be a pretty good fit for Philly if they could afford him. I'm not holding my breath though.
Yeah. I mean, Philly's payroll so far is going significantly lower than it was last year, but I still think it would be smart to not go for uh well, I don't know. Maybe they could go for Bassett, but I'm sticking with my 3 picks.
Makes sense. On 12, you got another first baseman, Josh Bell, the San Diego Padres. No surprise that he is on this list.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the notably good Padre players this year.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's going back to the Padres, but if he's not going back to the Padres, then I'm thinking he'll either go to Cleveland or Baltimore. Wait, no, not
Let me
Balt. Wait,
see.
no, not Baltimore. Baltimore already has Mount Castle. Uh, I think he could go to. I actually think he might go to the Cubs. Honestly, if
Let me see that.
uh, the Cubs, cause while the Cubs weren't the best team last year, they seem to be starting to put the pieces back together somewhat. And
This is true. They've had some pretty impressive matches against teams considered way better than them.
yeah, and they've got some amazing prospects that they can still use. Although the only ones even remotely close to major league level are Brennan Davis, Jordan Wicks, and Ben Brown.
Yeah.
but my point still stands. They have some pretty good prospects that they could use. That they
On the note of the Cubs, uh, unless you're not finished.
uh no, I'm done. I don't want to talk about the Cubs anymore.
Well, I'm afraid we're gonna have to keep talking about the Cubs because the 11th prospect is a Cubs player, specifically, I believe, a catcher,
He is a
Wilson
catcher.
Contreras.
Yeah. He's not going back to the Cubs, I don't think. I know I said they would could go for Josh Bell, but they're not gonna go for Wilson Contreras because and I'm definitely not speaking off of bias.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just don't think they'll go for him. I think three teams he could go to would be uh probably Houston, since they're probably going to need a catcher. So
Houston makes
Houston,
sense.
either Houston, uh, St. Louis,
I was actually
or
going to say St. Louis because Yadier Molina's retired now,
yeah,
and they definitely are going to want a good catcher.
yeah. So Houston, St. Louis, or we'll go with the Rangers, because the Rangers made some moves last year. They could make some more
They've got a
moves.
new manager this year, don't they?
Yeah,
So that is a team that is a team to keep our eyes on next year.
yeah. Well, not really.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess not. But I
They're a
mean,
team that could be on the rise, but I don't know if they'll actually make any noise next year. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
I hope that they see some improvement because that certainly is a team that exists, and that is the only thing I can say about the Rangers, really.
Yeah, they've got some
They're
decent
around.
prospects that'll be coming up soon. Specifically guys like Evan Carter, Owen White, Justin Foscue, and uh, actually no, that's about it. They have, I was gonna say Jack Leiter too, but I also don't really think he's ready. They kind of just uh brought him to Double A, even though he was drafted last year. Like he was drafted last year, second overall, and the Rangers were just like, let's bring him up to Double A, even though he hasn't played any professional ball prior to that.
Sounds pretty desperate.
Yeah, well, his performance this year can tell you that because he had a 5.54 ERA.
Ooh, yeah. Anything above four is a bit sus for a pitcher.
Yeah. I'm not gonna blame him too much for it though, because again, Double A is kind of for those guys who have kind of like been in the league for a little bit,
Yeah.
like been in the minors for like a little bit. It's for the teams who truly earn their spot to be a Double A. So,
The oh, sorry.
like for a team to like just throw their like top draft pick in at Double A immediately, that's just a recipe for disaster. I know that the Pirates also kind of did that, but with Henry Davis, who was the first overall pick last year in last year's draft. But you got to remember too, Henry Davis did spend some time in like high A, and like he was doing very well in high A. So he kind of earned his spot at Double A this year. Whereas Jack Leiter was kind of just thrown in there, and they were like, and they were like, "Hey, let's get this pitcher ready for uh, big league play in about in about a year," and it didn't work out for them. So yeah,
Yeah, desperate strategies like that rarely pay off. Especially like baseball is not a predictable sport.
yeah,
I think that goes without saying after this postseason.
yeah,
Uh, Back to the free agents, I definitely think that St. Louis is the best home for Contreras.
yeah. I feel like I feel like they're the best fit for him, and that's where he'll probably uh, have the best success at.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Cardinals do need a good catcher, and they need someone who's good on offense, and Contreras is good on offense.
yeah, he's got some pretty good numbers: 22 homers, a 243 average, 4 stolen bases.
Like this is a catcher who can hit.
Yeah,
That kind of versatility is never a bad thing.
yeah. All right. So now we're gonna move on to number 10, who is Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander, one of the Astros' opening pitcher of choice during the World Series.
Yeah, he
A
didn't really do well in game 1, but he made up for it in game 5, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was Game 5. Justin Verlander, dude, he is 40.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very old pitcher. Uh,
But all the same, he had a very good season. He had 185 strikeouts, a 1.75 ERA.
oh yeah, and this was after getting surgery.
Yeah, this is after getting Tommy John surgery.
According to Bleacher Report, there's still a fair amount of concerns about the surgery since it was pretty recent.
Yeah,
But I think it's safe to say that Verlander has proven that he is still a damn good pitcher.
yeah,
And I think that any team that needs an opening pitcher should really consider him.
yeah.
I
Uh,
think I think the Mets should consider him because the Mets their best opening pitcher is a free agent now,
yeah,
and Verlander his 88 million price tag isn't much for the Mets. Their owner is loaded.
their owner is loaded, but I think this offseason we're about to see how loaded he can be.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great players up for grabs, and a lot of them are positions that the Mets would want.
Yeah. But for Justin Verlander, I have uh there are three options. There are three things I think are gonna happen. He's either gonna return to Houston, uh, with a big payday, with like a big boy payday. He's either gonna go back to Detroit because he started his career in Detroit before he went on to Houston.
Humble beginnings there.
Yeah. Or since he is 40 and he did have his best season probably in a while, and he probably will not have a season like this again. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I think he might actually retire if those other two options don't happen.
I think, yeah, to be honest, I think retiring is the most likely option. He is 40. That's quite old, in baseball, and he just won a World Series. He was a major contributor to winning a World Series. I don't think a career gets better than that. if I were in his position, I would definitely consider resting on my laurels.
Yeah.
On the ninth slot, you've got yet another Met. Uh, you've got Brandon Nimmo.
Now Brandon Nimmo, he kind of had a bit of a quiet season this year, but uh, I don't think a lot of Mets fans really expect Brandon Nimmo to hit a lot for a lot of power. He plays leadoff most of the time. So
He's the
he's
center fielder, and I think he's good at it.
yeah, he's a very good fielder.
He's fast.
Yeah, and he's fast. He's got a lot of he honestly the only thing he can't do is hit for power, but that's, okay cuz he's mostly going to be batting leadoff. I think this is another player that the Mets should try to keep.
Definitely. I think the Mets would benefit greatly from keeping him.
Yes. But if they don't end up keeping him, I think he could either go to Boston or fucking not Oakland. I keep looking at Oakland and I'm like maybe, but then I'm like nah, they're not gonna go for him. I'm thinking either Boston or Miami.
I can see those. I think. Uh, Actually, I don't have much input there. I definitely think the most likely option, definitely the wise option. I think the wise option for him and the wise option for the Mets is for him to stay in the Mets.
Yeah.
Uh, I think he's in the right place for his career. Uh, Number eight's another Met, but we don't even need to talk about him. Diaz just signed back on with the Mets
Yeah.
at time of recording.
Yeah. Edwin Diaz, as of I think it was Sunday this happened. He uh he signed a massive extension with the Mets.
5 years was
Five
it?
5 years for $102 million.
That's a good price.
Yeah.
And thank God that the Mets bought him back because the Edwin Diaz is a god tier closer.
Yeah.
I swear, like every time he licks his lips, he strikes a dude out.
Yeah. He's definitely in my top 2. I often keep switching between these two. You have him, and then you have the closer for the Guardians, Clase, who's also really good.
In the seventh, the seventh, you've got Carlos Rodon
Yeah, you
of
have
the San
Carlos.
Francisco Giants.
Yeah, you've got Carlos Rodon. He is not. Here's my thing with Rodon. He is either going to, for me at least, he is either going to go to the Mets, go to the Diamondbacks, or go to let's see here, other teams could go to.
Oh, he's a left-hand pitcher.
Yeah, he's a lefty. Honestly, I think he could also go to Baltimore if
Oh,
not those other teams.
what's the rationale for those?
Uh, for the Mets, I'll tell you why in a second, in a little bit. For the Diamondbacks already have uh they have uh Zach Gallen, who is a really really good pitcher. He's also a really young pitcher, but he's like a really good pitcher. Uh, how long do they have him under contract? Oh, they have him for arbitration for another 2 years. I think they should try to resign. They should try to extend him long term.
Who?
Zach Gallen.
Ah,
But anyways, back to Rodon. The only other kind of okay pitcher that the Diamondbacks have is Madison Bumgarner. And Madison Bumgarner is 33, and he hasn't been good since and he hasn't been like dominant or lights out since the last time the San Francisco Giants won the World Series, I think, which would have been 2014. Actually, no, that's a lie.
Damn.
He was probably really good a couple of other years too. I just don't feel like looking at his stats right now.
Still, that's quite some time. That's like that's
Actually,
only
okay, I I know now. Ever since he became a part of the Diamondbacks, he hasn't been as good.
tragic. Seems like going to the Diamondbacks didn't work out too well for him.
No, not really. But I think it could work out well for Carlos Rodon. And for Rodon going to Baltimore, I'm just gonna make it very very simple. One of the Orioles' biggest problems wasn't starting pitching. Not that they don't have pitchers, it's just that they got injured. And that can hurt a team whenever your starters for the year go down.
Absolutely. Speaking of starters who were injured for a while, which hurt the performance of their team, you've got number six, Jacob deGrom, who is opting out of the Mets. We
Yeah,
know for certain that he is not coming back.
yeah. Uh,
He's a huge.
DeGrom,
It's a huge loss for the Mets because he was definitely the Mets' best opening pitcher.
yeah. And and why and DeGrom is the reason why I had Rodon going to the Mets because DeGrom is not going to go back to the Mets. He is either going to go to Baltimore, uh the Rangers, I think, or
DeGrom and the Rangers would be interesting.
or he could go to he could just be boring and go to the Dodgers.
He could be boring and go to the Dodgers. I kind of hope that doesn't happen. It's
Yeah.
probably the logical option. If
It probably is the logical option.
he wants to play for a team that wins.
Yeah, if he wants to play for a team that wins. But the thing about I know Texas, I know the Rangers are a team that's not going to win uh like immediately. But I think the Orioles are just a few players away from being that team that could, go out and like stun the Astros and go win a World Series.
True. This like 2023 could be their year.
It could be their year. It could very
If
much
they,
be their
they
year.
pick the right players. Who knows?
And one of those players who I think could help them would be DeGrom. DeGrom is like number 1 on my list for the Baltimore Orioles to get. But if the Orioles don't get uh DeGrom, I think Rodon, if the Mets don't get him, would be would be a close second. Who knows? The Orioles could just go out and get both. They have the money. Their
But
estimated payroll next year would be 39 million, so
damn.
like as of right now, so like get spending Baltimore. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Baltimore.
With with that though, I think that's like all we gotta say on DeGrom. I wish him the best wherever team he goes. He is a great player. He deserves to be in a great team. And yeah, on number five, you've got a Brave, Dansby Swanson, the shortstop of the Atlanta Braves.
The Braves also have at shortstop. I know they have Swanson, and then I think they have someone else there too. Is it Ozzy Albies?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be Albies. I might be wrong though. Oh no, he's a second baseman. I was wrong. Okay,
I think it might be Grissom.
Grissom.
Yeah,
Oh maybe. I don't think Grissom's any good though. So I think, uh, maybe the maybe the Braves should uh try to keep Dansby Swanson if they.
definitely. Dansby Swanson is definitely a good player. Uh, he is about the same as he's been for about the from what I'm seeing on the Bleacher Report at least. He's been about the same general level of skill for a while now, but it's still a good level of skill. So I think just because oh wait, no, I'm misreading this. Never mind. But
I feel like
oh,
I feel like the Braves should keep. Yeah, the Braves should keep hold of Dansby Swanson unless they get someone better, which I think very much could happen, but I don't think it will. I think they'll try to keep Swanson. But
if they don't, where do you think he'll go?
if they don't, he'll probably either go to Seattle or maybe Minnesota. We'll get him and try to like say that they're still good.
Oh man.
Kind of like what they did with Correa last year.
I think the Mariners would be a good place for him. Definitely would be wise for the Braves to keep him.
Yeah,
And it would probably be wise for him to stay in the Braves because the Braves are a team that normally wins.
yeah,
But the Mariners would probably benefit a lot from a shortstop of his caliber.
yeah. But if the Mariners don't get him, they could get somebody else who's on the market. And that somebody else on the market is Xander Bogaerts of the Boston Red Sox.
Yep. He's the number four. His contract is worth $100 million worth more than Dansby Swanson's.
Yeah,
So
but
he's definitely the more expensive option.
it's definitely the more expensive option. But he's also kind of the better option, in my opinion. He doesn't have as many home runs as Dansby Swanson does, but home runs aren't everything. He has 8 stolen bases, which oh wait, Swanson has 18. But he does have a 307 average, so he does get on base more than Dansby Swanson does. And although he won't steal you a base, and he might not get as many home runs as Dansby Swanson will, he'll get on base and he'll probably get in scoring position.
Yeah, and consistency is a great thing to have in baseball. Uh, Potential doesn't mean a lot if that potential doesn't come up often, because Mark Canha can score a grand slam. It doesn't mean he will.
Yeah,
He's done it, but it doesn't mean he will do it again.
I'm thinking Bogarts will either go to Seattle, like Seattle's my number one pick for him. He'll either go to Seattle, he'll go back to Boston, or he'll fuck over a lot of Red Sox fans and go to the Yankees.
That'd be pretty funny, but I Well, that'd be pretty funny, but I don't want anyone going to the Yankees.
Nah. After this season, I don't think a lot of people will go to the Yankees.
Yeah, this is an embarrassing year for the Yankees. They got in, they were all fired up, and they got humiliated immediately.
Yeah. They
I
um
mean,
they almost lost to Cleveland, and then they got
they got
brut
one win.
and then they got brutally murdered by Houston.
Yeah, they had to fight tooth and nail to win against Cleveland, which was a bit sad. Mind you, it definitely wasn't the only series that Cleveland fought tooth and nail in.
I honestly think Cleveland would have done a better job in the ALCS than the Yankees did.
I think so too. The Guardians throughout their time, throughout the postseason, for as long as they lasted, the Guardians did not give up any games easily.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to get a lead on them, you had to fight them for it.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely is a sign that the Guardians will be a great team in the future. I think that next year is going to be bright for them.
Mhm.
You mentioned Carlos Correa before,
Yeah. He
and
is
yeah, he is yet another shortstop on the list. He's number three.
he is number
He is
3.
leaving the Twins.
He is
He has
leaving.
wanted to leave the Twins since October.
Yeah. He is leaving the Twins. Not really a big surprise there. Uh a team who was really big trying to get Correa last year were the Orioles, was Baltimore, and I think the same is going to be said today, this year, and I think they're actually going to be able to snatch him.
And the Orioles could serve to benefit.
Yeah,
Uh, if uh,
that does raise the question for the Orioles of where they're going to put Gunnar Henderson, but I'm sure they'll figure it out.
yeah. Alternatively, the Red Sox and the Braves may be out of a shortstop slot, so
Yeah,
maybe Korea might find a home in one of those teams. Any of them really will be better than the Twins.
yeah. He could
I think
also.
he could land in the Nationals in his future. It would be brighter.
Yeah. He could go to Oakland.
He could go to Pittsburgh.
Hey now. We have better prospects than both Oakland and okay, well not maybe not in the Nationals.
But definitely Oakland.
Definitely Oakland though. Yeah.
There's a reason we argue Oakland is the real worst team.
Yeah. Just because the Nationals had the worst record last year doesn't mean they were the worst team because they don't have the worst of it. They have prospects that they can build off of and they could make another winning team within the next couple of years, like maybe 3 to 5 years.
But on that note, on the note of shortstops moving to places, Correa could also go to the Dodgers because the Dodgers have a shortstop on the list as number two,
Oh yeah, I
Trea
forgot
Turner.
he was on the list. I forgot Trey Turner was here.
Yeah,
Trey Turner. I think he might be my number one pick for Seattle.
he would be an insane pick for Seattle.
I feel like either Trey Turner or Xander Bogaerts would be a perfect fit for Seattle. And if Turner doesn't go to Seattle, he could also go to either the Braves or hell, he might go to fucking not Toronto. They have Bichette.
I think if the
He might go to
Braves,
the White Sox, honestly.
I think if the Braves let go of Dansby Swanson, I think Trey Turner is likely to go there.
Trey Turner's fast. He's got wheels. He's
He's
got
fast,
he's got
and
he's got wheels for days. His fielding is like, oh my god, it's so good. And then like his average is a 2.98, which isn't the best, but he's also got 21 home runs.
yeah,
So
he's
like,
also he's also stolen 27 bases
yeah,
compared to Swanson's 18.
compared
I think that if he went to the Braves, then that would be a huge boon to the Braves.
it would be a huge, yeah, it would be a huge boost to their roster. And if he leaves the
It's
Dodgers,
pain in
that'll
my
be a
ass.
if he leaves the Dodgers, it'll probably be like a minor setback, like a very minor setback. Actually, do they have any good shortstop? Eddie's Leonard, who is who as of right now is already in the MLB level, but that could change by spring training, or not even spring training, opening day. But yeah, I think Trey Turner could be one of those really good. Could be one of those guys who just actually. Was there any news on Trey Turner? Did he leave or I have a
No,
he did not leave.
doesn't say that he left.
Okay, so he still could. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have an option.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's out.
He's out, but he does have a. He is eligible for a qualifying offer, which is basic. Which is basically, you could try to sign him for one more year, and if he goes somewhere else, then you get a compensational draft pick.
Yeah, and we're not gonna go over number one too long. We've already done that. It's fucking, as you know, it's fucking Aaron Judge.
It's
Three
Aaron
hundred
Judge.
million dollars for this guy. $300 million for probably the best hitter this year.
Yeah, I would say he was the best hitter this year. A 311 average with 62 home runs.
Yeah,
He broke
he
he broke the AL record.
yeah, like he was insane this year, and he will continue to be insane. And he's definitely not staying with the
I
Yankees.
feel I feel like he definitely will not stay with the Yankees.
Honestly, the Yankees are holding him back.
That is very very true.
Like, he could be in a World Series winning team, but that team is not the Yankees.
No. Teams I think would go after Aaron Judge would be uh the San Francisco Giants, the Miami Marlins, or he could go back to New York, but not in the Bronx, in Queens.
Oh yeah, the Mets could definitely afford Judge.
He's going to the Mets, baby. But my number one pick would probably it's a tie between the Marlins and the Giants. I feel like the Marlins should go after him. Like they have the pitching to do good, to be a really good team. They just need bats.
Yeah, speaking of oh wait, no. Wait, did you say Giants?
Yeah, I did say to the Giants.
Okay, I got confused then. Un ugh, my bad.
Nah, it's fine.
But that is all of the top 15 free agents on Bleacher Report. Some honorable or perhaps dishonorable mentions. Uh, Gene Segura is not coming back to the Phillies after the World Series.
Yeah,
Taijuan Walker is not coming back to the Mets. Nola has an option, but as far as we know, he's a free agent.
Uh, actually, uh, I think the Phillies are bringing him back for another year next year.
I think they would be foolish not to.
Yeah, they have exercised their $60 million club option for Aaron Nola for the 2023 season. So he's pretty much set to come back.
Yeah, admittedly, good riddance for Segura. He was kind of a waste of a slot.
Yeah.
And I've talked enough shit about Taiwan Walker to like power a generator. That generator was powered by hate. Because man, that guy really did not do well under the Mets.
He did not do well under the Mets, which is why I think he'll probably end up going to the Cardinals and be one of their aces next year.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping he doesn't weigh them down.
I mean, they could just, you know, sign him for way cheaper
It's possible.
for like a really cheap contract so that if he is bad, they could just cut him. But yeah, that's our picks for who for where these players could go. If you agree with us or disagree with us, let us know in the comments. You could say where you think each player could go. Uh,
Yeah, we'd be fascinated to hear your speculations on the matter.
if you think Aaron Judge uh, might go back to the Yankees, I would understand your argument, but I would disagree with you entirely.
I I appreciate your optimism. If you do think Aaron Judge will stay with the Yankees, but you're probably wrong.
You are probably wrong.
If I were Aaron Judge, not even because of my inherent Yankee bias, I wouldn't stay with the Yankees. Not after that year, where he did everything for the Yankees, and in return, they lost him the ALCS.
And he got booed by his own fans because he struck out in one of the games for the ALCS.
And that would be heartbreaking, especially if you're like lauded as a hero before then.
Yeah. I feel like the Yankees are about to if their fans continue to be the big pieces of shit that they are, I think the Yankees are going to start heading down through a downward spiral that could last them a good a like a generation probably. A good few generations actually.
Just to say it's not ongoing. The last time that the Yankees were considered amazing was the 90s, wasn't it?
Uh
Or the 2000s?
2009 when they last won the World Series against, what do you know, the Phillies. There they are.
Man, when the Phillies were making the World Series. I mean, I guess that's now.
Yeah, they made it this year, and they might have just.
After years and years and years of missing the playoffs.
Here's what I think happened this World Series. They either uh, jump started the Astros dynasty through the 2020s, or they cursed them to never win another championship for another 12 years.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the latter. A lot of great players in the Astros, but man, I don't want to see the Astros in another postseason. I'm like sick of them. It's like when you eat too much of something.
Yeah. But all that being said, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. If you didn't, I mean, you can dislike it, but nobody's gonna see it except us. And we'll just troll you for it. So,
be silently judging.
I'll be silently judging you.
And in the meantime, get on the ball with a CS Baseball. We'll see you in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So have a good one, or don't. I don't really care.
Free country. Right?